So guys, welcome back to the channel. As you can see, we are in the back of my Lexus. No, it's not one of them videos that you see on the internet of back of cars. This is a breakdown of all the luxury cars I think you should go and buy. Now, I'm not saying at any point in this video that these cars are investments. If anything, they're probably financial mistakes, but they are ridiculously cheap for what they are. The MSRP, the actual retail price of some of these cars, is absolutely ridiculous. So it means they are insane bargains right now. And this is my own personal list. This isn't a list from anywhere else. These are the personal cars that I would love to own at some point. But as ever, guys, make sure you like this video, subscribe down below, and tell me, what are your top 5 luxury cars between £10,000 to £15,000, bearing in mind that some of these cars were ridiculous money when they were new. As ever, we'll be pulling my phone out, we'll be going onto eBay and trying to find some absolute deals on these luxury cars. Unlike some other top 5, top 10 videos, I actually go onto the marketplace and try and find these vehicles for sale right now today. So if you had the money and you wanted to go and buy one of these, you could buy one on the spot. And of course, as ever, we'll be taking each ad on face value. Some of these cars might be written off, they might be clocked, they might be higher mileage, they might be lower mileage. We will see what's out in the market and see if these cars are readily available for you to go and spend your hard-earned pennies on. Now, the first car is one of my personal favourite cars. This is a vehicle that we've actually shot on the channel years and years ago, and this is before the price hike. These were a lot more affordable, in my opinion. It is the Toyota Crown. If I remember correctly, this car wasn't actually sold in the UK, but there is a lot of them in the UK for sale at this present time because a lot has been imported. They have noticed that the prices in Japan and the prices here are very, very different. There is money to be made on these vehicles if you're bringing them into the UK, but again, they are a very niche market. But from my personal experience of the one I drove, I absolutely loved it. Now, there are later generations based on some of the Toyota and Lexus platforms that I have noticed circulating around the marketplace, but these ones we're probably going to find today are going to be the later generations with the V6 engines, very similar to my 2005 Lexus GS300 I had a few years ago. But let's see what's on the marketplace, see if any are for sale. So, Toyota Crown. Now, the first Crown that comes up is a 2-litre variant. Now, this isn't necessarily the one I'd go for, but I have shot a very similar generation on the channel and thought it was pretty good. Now, that's not exactly what we're after, because these are not the softer variants, but they're just not the luxury variant we're actually after. Now, the Crown Athlete isn't one that I was actually going to look at. I was going to look at a bigger engine one, but this is a 2.5 litre 1JZ automatic car. Something that I have again shot for the channel. I've shot one of these in the estate form and genuinely like that. They were a lot cheaper than they are now. Just like the one here, this white one, 9 grand. These were, you know, 4 or 5 grand at one point. Just underneath that though, again at £9,000, is a Crown Athlete that I would be looking at the moment. So this is a personal favourite car of mine that I would like to delve into at some point, but again, because of prices, been sort of priced out at the moment. Now, the next car is actually a slightly newer car. So Jaguar XJ. I'm after the newer generation though, so maybe a portfolio with the 3-litre diesel engine, maybe even a long wheelbase. Now, I'm actually going to cap the year on this one because I want a newer variant of this car. So we're actually going from the 2012, so the facelift variant in theory, and upwards. I think they did a 2011 in the older shape, and then in 2012, if I remember correctly, they came into the newer shape. But these again are really cheap. Reliability, I'm not sure is there in this variant of XJ, but again, please do your research if you're willing to actually buy one of these. I really want one of these at the moment. I think they are fantastic value for money. And the first one comes up is a 2012 black, not a long wheelbase, but it is the 3-litre V6 diesel engine, 8.5 grand. I don't think that's too bad. It has got 161,000 miles on it, so again, that might put a few people off because of the reliability. We'll go back and there's another black one here on a 13 plate, £10,000. It's got 20-inch wheels, sat nav, pan roof, Meridian leather. It's got everything on it. I genuinely think for 10 grand, that is a hell of a deal. And as you can see, it is a long wheelbase variant. I would get the long wheelbase variant. The swooping back that these vehicles have is such a nice design, in my opinion. And I think the interior is a really nice place in these, not too dissimilar to the Range Rovers and other Jaguar products in this generation. Another car that is an absolute personal favourite of mine. I'm sat in a Lexus. I have owned many Lexuses, but I'm still to delve into the LS side of Lexus. I've had a few GSs, I've had a few ISs. I want to level up into the LS at some point. The be all and end all LS, in my opinion, is the 600H. This is a 5-litre V8 hybrid that Lexus brought out many moons ago now, so they've actually depreciated. I think the retail price of these was around £80,000 at the time, so these were very expensive cars. There isn't too many in circulation. I do look from time to time. They haven't necessarily held their money because they're a, you know, say a 70, 80,000 pound car when they came out. But looking on the market right now, the first one that's come out, 191,000 miles, and this is a long wheelbase. It says it's an all-wheel drive variant, which is pretty cool. Again, I'd go for a long wheelbase. I think the long wheelbase just suit the Lexus brand so well and the LS chassis so well. This one actually has, it looks like it's got the independent rear seats in it as well. So you could actually get a option to have 2 seats in the back with the center console. It looks like this one actually has that fixed in. That is a really, really cool thing. Again, this is exactly the car that I would be going for if I was looking to do this sort of thing. Looks like it's got a black interior on the 08 plate, bluey black outside. Looks like a clean car, but it's probably been a chauffeur car for many years. That's how it's got its mileage on it. The next one down, I've actually looked at this one recently because trying to find a white one is actually quite hard. This looks like an import variant. Again, 600H, this isn't a long wheelbase version, but this is literally the car I would go for right now. I don't know what the MPG is like in these, considering it's a, you know, mild hybrid, a hybrid system in the 5-litre V8, but you know full well it will go forever. Just like this 199,000 mile GS that I own right now, this car with 60,000 miles on it isn't even running. Next up is another personal favourite, because of course this is my favourite luxury cars that I would like to own and would financially cripple myself with at some point. It is the CL 500 or a CL 63. Now I think the 500 is a little bit of a softer, more cruisy version of the CL, but the 63 is of course the be all and end all. We shot one on the channel years and years ago, and since that day it's been drummed into my head that I want one of these things at some point. I have watched them fall and then go back up, especially the 63s in value, but you can find 500s for not a lot of money. I don't know about reliabilities on these cars. I will say do your research. I haven't done too much research on the 500s. The 63s, yes, they're very expensive. It's an AMG variant, but jumping on eBay, the first one I found is 9.5 grand. I did find these for around 7 to 8 grand, you know, a few years ago, because not a lot of people wanted them. I do feel like it's not an appreciating classic, is it? Not whatsoever, but they're becoming sought after for collectors, I feel. Cars like this don't exist anymore. They're going to be phased out very, very quickly. A big coupe 5-litre variant of a car is really, no one needs that car, do they? No one needs that car. So this one at 9.5 grand, black. It looks like it's got AMG wheels, quite a nice version, cream interior. I do like the interior in these cars. If it's right and the fit and finish is still there from Mercedes. We've got one, oh, we've got a wide arched one here, CL 500 in a bronzy gold. That's a statement when you pull up anywhere. And at 12 grand, that looks insane. You put a private plate on that, no one's going to know. But it looks like it's got a wide arch kit on it. Pretty cool version. What we will do now is try and find a 63. So what's the cheapest 63 we can actually buy right now? Okay, so the first one I found, CL63, £18,500. It's a black car. It looks absolutely stunning. Again, we shot this pretty much identical car way back, you know, 3-4 years ago now for the channel. I just fell in love with it. The size, the power, just the elegance of this car going down the road is something else. The tech as well that comes with it. And to be fair, I thought they were a little bit cheaper than this. First one I found, the cheapest one I found is 18.5 grand today. So the last one, the biggest oddball that you're probably going to hear on the internet at the moment. I have liked these since they come out, and I know Top Gear just completely destroyed the idea of this vehicle, but it is the Porsche Panamera. Do not turn off. Hear me out, because I feel like as a family man now, you know, I need 4 seats, I need a bigger car. Don't necessarily want an SUV, don't have the money for a Taycan. Where are you really going to sit in the market if you want a big luxury car like that? You don't want to go to Mercedes, or you've been to Mercedes, you want to migrate maybe into a Porsche, but you don't want to go for that Cayenne. The Panamera sort of fits right in the middle of that. Now, I will say, I haven't driven one of these, I've sat in one, and although the back seemed a little bit smaller than I was expecting, I did like the overall feel of the car. I do want to shoot one of these for the channel, because personally, I would love to own one at some point. Again, because I make terrible and very ugly car decisions. I mean, we're sat in a 199,000 mile Lexus GS 300, so I mean, what do I even know anyway? But we will jump on eBay and see what we can find. So the first ones I'm finding, let's go lowest to highest, because I want to see how cheap you can get these for these days. Let's try and find one about 100,000 miles, and the first one that's come up that looks like, let's just check, 125,000 miles. So say this one at 125,000 miles, black with black wheels. Looks quite good. I am a bit of I've got a soft spot for the pre-facelift. I don't like the facelift variant. We will click on this one though, 18,000 pounds. It looks like it's browny black. Black wheels, red stripes on it, not too sure about that. Nice interior, it looks pretty clean. It hasn't got the proper PDK paddles though, it's got more of the softer steering wheel. I would try and go for the proper steering wheel. As a final really stupid car to buy, I've put turbo in to try and find the cheapest turbo for sale as we are right now, and I've just found it. It is £22,000, 21,950. Black wheels, turbo, so it's a 4.8 litre turbo V8. I bet that is so fast. The tuning potential might be there for one of them. I'm not too sure. Again, leave a comment below. The interior is okay. It hasn't got nicer steering wheel that I would want, but PDK box, it's got back seats. I mean, what a hell of a car. I bet it does some fuel, and it will be incredibly juicy, and parts will be expensive, but what a car for the sake of 22 grand. And that's it, guys. Thank you so much for watching today's video. If you did like this style of format, me sat in the back of the Lexus talking about luxury cars that depreciated and you could financially cripple yourself with, leave a comment below. What would you buy? Where would you put your money if you were to get a really depreciated luxury car? But thank you so much for watching. We'll see you on the next one.